right, we're on to the second review of the workbook of A Course in Miracles. So we're going to read through the introduction. Jesus does a little introduction, and then we're going to do lesson 81. Here we go. Review number 2, introduction, paragraph 1. We are now ready for another review. We will begin where our last review left off and cover 2 ideas each day. The earlier part of each day will be devoted to one of these ideas, and the latter part of the day to the other. We will have one longer exercise period and frequent shorter ones in which we practice each of them. Paragraph 2. The longer practice periods will follow this general form. Take about 15 minutes for each of them, and begin by thinking about the ideas for the day and the comments that are included in the assignments. Devote some 3 or 4 minutes to reading them over slowly, several times if you wish, and then close your eyes and listen. Paragraph 3. Repeat the first phase of the exercise period if you find your mind wandering, but try to spend the major part of the time listening quietly but attentively. There is a message waiting for you. Be confident that you will receive it. Remember that it belongs to you and that you want it. Paragraph 4. Do not allow your intent to waver in the face of distracting thoughts. Realize that, whatever form such thoughts may take, they have no meaning and no power. Replace them with your determination to succeed. Do not forget that your will has power over all fantasies and dreams. Trust it to see you through and carry you beyond them all. Paragraph 5. Regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. Refuse to be sidetracked into detours, illusions, and thoughts of death. You are dedicated to salvation. Be determined each day not to leave your function unfulfilled. Paragraph 6. Reaffirm your determination in the shorter practice periods as well, using the original form of the idea for general applications and more specific forms when needed. Some specific forms are included in the comments which follow the statement of the ideas. These, however, are merely suggestions. It is not the particular words you use that matter. All right, we're going to just go through this rather quickly. The introduction here, we'll talk about anything interesting. It's kind of like a reality check. Like you're reading this and you're like, oh, it's interesting that Jesus said that, right? So like when he says, regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. That was kind of out of the blue, right? So let's talk about it. Paragraph 1. We're now ready for another review. We will begin where our last review left off and cover 2 ideas each day. So we did one review. In the first review, there were 5 ideas for each day with commentary. Now there's only 2. The earlier part of each day will be devoted to one of these ideas and the latter part of the day to the other. So you do early part of the day, the first idea, and the latter part of the day to the second idea. We will have one longer exercise period and frequent shorter ones in which we practice each of them. So we have a longer and shorter practice periods, as we've been doing. 2, the longer practice periods will follow this general form. Take about 15 minutes for each of them and begin by thinking about the ideas for the day and the comments that are included in the assignments. Devote some 3 or 4 minutes to reading them over slowly, several times if you wish, and then close your eyes and listen. So this is about 15 minutes. You read over the idea and the comments, and then you close your eyes and you listen. Paragraph 3. Repeat the first phase of the exercise period if you find your mind wandering, but try to spend the major part of the time listening quietly but attentively. There is a message waiting for you. This is important. There's a message waiting for you. You have to listen to receive the message. If your mind wanders, you can go back and reread the idea and the comment if you want. Be confident that you will receive it. Be confident that you will receive the message. Remember that it belongs to you and that you want it. Okay, so you're listening for guidance, listening for, let's say, the Holy Spirit within you to give you some guidance. Let's just put it that way. Paragraph 4, do not allow your intent to waver in the face of distracting thoughts. Realize that whatever form such thoughts may take, they have no meaning and no power. So this is the ego, and the egoic thoughts have no meaning and have no power. Replace them with your determination to succeed. Do not forget that your will has power over all fantasies and dreams. Trust it to see you through and carry you beyond them all. So trust your will. Your will is God's will, and your will you have the ability, your will, which is God's will, has the ability to overlook the egoic thought system that is seeking to usurp the power of God within you. And you can just say, nope, I'm not going there. So you just use your will to just say, no, I'm not entertaining those thoughts. I'm letting those thoughts go. I'm just sticking with what, with the truth. I'm sticking with this one. Paragraph 5, regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. So you take these practice periods, in other words, take these practice periods seriously. This is the dedication to the way, the truth, and the life. It doesn't say that this is you're dedicating yourself to Jesus. Remember, in the Gospel of John, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. This is not necessarily saying I'm dedicating myself to Jesus. This is saying this is a dedication to the way, the truth, and the life. And this is to honor the fact and to acknowledge the fact that ultimately we are all the way, the truth, and the life, and we're remembering that. Refuse to be sidetracked into detours, illusions, and thoughts of death. You are dedicated to salvation. Be determined each day not to leave your function unfulfilled. Right? Keep committing, keep recommitting to your function. Your function is salvation. Your function is to be the light of the world. Your function is to let go of all grievances, to find complete forgiveness, to forgive your brother, all your brothers, and to go home. That is your function. Don't forget that. Take that seriously. Paragraph 6, reaffirm your determination in the shorter practice periods as well, using the original form of the idea for general applications and more specific forms when needed. Some specific forms are included in the comments which follow the statement of the ideas. These, however, are merely suggestions. So Jesus is making some suggestions of specific forms that the general ideas might take, but you don't have to take those suggestions. You can use your own specific forms of the main idea. It is not the particular words you use that matter. That's an important line right there. That's for the whole course. It's not, the particular words are not that important. That's the form. The content is what is important. What is the content? The content is what it means, right? The form is how it's presented, but the meaning is really what's important. It's like, one way of looking at this is like we could say the words, but meaning the words is really what is important. Like you could say, I am the light of the world, and we could say that kind of by rote. We could say it like in a mindless way, or we could say it as we really mean it and we really believe it with conviction, right? So anyway, now we're on to lesson 81. This is the first review lesson in the second review period. Our ideas for review today are: 1, I am the light of the world. And this is the commentary. How holy am I, who have been given the function of lighting up the world! ! Let me be still before my holiness. In its calm light, let all my conflicts disappear. In its peace, let me remember who I am. Some specific forms for applying this idea when special difficulties seem to arise might be: let me not obscure the light of the world in me. Let the light of the world shine through this appearance. This shadow will vanish before the light. Now Jesus, again, he's giving you some possible things you could add to I am the light of the world, but you can also use your own words. You don't have to use these words. So he's also emphasizing your holiness. I am holy. How holy am I? That I have this function of the light of the world, that I am the light of the world. This is not to make you special, because everyone is special. Everyone is holy. But this is to remember in the face of things that are telling you the opposite, like when life and people start to bring you down, so to speak, you remember this idea. I am the light of the world. I will not let anything get in the way of that. These things, people are saying these things to me or about me. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I am the light of the world. Yes, I've made mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm going to correct my mistakes as best I can. And I'm going to keep pushing forward. Inward, onward, Godward, right? I'm going to keep going no matter what, right? I'm committed. Next one. So that's the first idea, I'm the light of the world. And the second idea for the day is forgiveness. And this is from lesson 61. This is lesson 62. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. So I am the light of the world, and forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. It is through accepting my function that I will see the light in me. And in this light will my function stand clear and perfectly unambiguous before my sight. My acceptance does not depend on my recognizing what my function is, for I do not yet understand forgiveness. Let's read that again. My acceptance does not depend on my recognizing what my function is, for I do not yet understand forgiveness. Yet I will trust that in the light I will see it as it is. Specific forms for using this idea might include, let this help me learn what forgiveness means. Let me not separate my function from my will. I will not use this for an alien purpose. So Jesus is emphasizing here that I don't really know. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world, but I don't really understand forgiveness quite yet. But it's through accepting my function of forgiveness that I will see the light in me. And in this light will my function stand clear and perfectly unambiguous before my sight. I will realize that my function, my only true function, is forgiveness. My acceptance does not depend on my recognizing what my function is, for I do not yet understand forgiveness. Yet I will trust that in the light I will see it as it is. So I practice these ideas, not yet fully understanding, but I just practice them, and I know that I will understand them as I go along, as I practice. I might not get it yet, but I will. We could also bring in, one of the great sayings from the Gospels. I forget which Gospel. Is it in the Gospel of Mark? I don't know if it's in the Gospel of Mark, but where Jesus is on the cross and he says, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." And I was just thinking of that, in light of when others seem to be mistreating you, when others seem to be bringing you down, talking ill of you, defaming you, whatever it might be. First of all, you have to understand that they're only doing that. Whatever they're doing, first of all, is a mirror for you. And it's a mirror to help you to look at your unforgiveness, right? Because they wouldn't be doing that if you were in a place of complete forgiveness. People would not be doing that to you. That's at least what I think Jesus is saying in the Course, is that you could say, well, they did it to Jesus. And Jesus was the most forgiving person, in history. So what does that mean? That people, I might be a very loving, forgiving, I might be fully enlightened and people might still be doing that, right? So what does that mean? I'm not sure. All I'm saying is people may be saying things to you or about you, and you can just think, forgive them. I forgive them, right? Because they're hurting just like me, right? They're in ignorance just like I am. They don't know. If they did know, they wouldn't be judging. They wouldn't be saying those things. But when I look deeper, I see that they're hurting just like me, right? And that's why they do those things. And that's, that's a forgiving, compassionate way to look at it. And Jesus in the Course says everything is either an extension of love or it's a call for love, right? It's either an extension or a call for love. There's nothing else, right? If someone is not being loving, but rather being judgmental or whatever it might be, that is really a call for love. And what you want to do in that case is you want to be loving, at least in your heart. It's sometimes hard to be loving. It's not impossible, but it's sometimes hard to be loving when someone is being judgmental toward you. It's difficult, very difficult. But this is where we're going with this, is to learn how to be loving and forgiving, even in the face of, mistrust and anger and all the other things that sometimes get thrown at us. So anyway, lesson 81, this is the first review. I am the light of the world. It's the first. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. I hope this is helpful, and we'll keep going. And I'm going to do another video today. I'm going to do the third part of my video on classic rock and A Course in Miracles from the year 1976. My top 10 classic rock songs that have some relevance to A Course in Miracles from 1976, the year the Course was published. So if you're interested, then meet me there, and otherwise I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for checking in. Always feel free to leave a comment or a suggestion. I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye-bye.